Hello, and welcome back to the Richard Talaferro podcast, where we take a look at career insights and give advice to career changers. If you're listening in this week, there's a good chance you've got something big on your mind: a career change, a shift in direction, a moonshot goal that's been living in your head for way too long. And I get it. You're sitting in traffic, crawling to the office, or logging into yet another Zoom meeting, wondering, is this the year I finally go for it? That move to a different department, that leap to a whole new industry, that big, audacious dream that won't let go of you. We're going to be talking about what it really takes to launch that dream into reality. Not just think about it and not just plan for it, but actually take action and build the momentum you need to make it happen. What's keeping you grounded? And more importantly, what's going to get you off the launch pad? So every moonshot starts with a single step. For astronauts, it's the time of liftoff, a mix of precision, bravery, and trust. For you, it could be sending that first email, making that first call, or applying for that first role. Because here's what I want you to know: a dream without action is just a wish. We spend so much time visualizing, strategizing, and convincing ourselves that we will make a move someday. But nothing changes until we take that first step. And the best part? That first step creates momentum. Momentum turns possibility into reality. Every small win builds confidence, and that confidence fuels the next step. It's like compounding interest, but instead of money, you're investing in yourself. Even if your first step feels small, they're laying the foundation for something bigger. Now, let's say your moonshot is to write a book. You don't start with a publishing deal. You start by writing for about 15 minutes a day. And that 15 minutes turns into a chapter. And that chapter turns into a draft. That draft turns into something real. And that's the magic of action. It compounds. Now, let's talk about resistance, because it's going to show up. Now, it might whisper in your ear, what if I fail? What will people think? What if I'm not good enough? Does any of that sound familiar to you? Resistance disguises itself as procrastination, overthinking, or waiting for the quote unquote right time. But here's the deal: the right time is now. There is never a perfect moment to start. There will always be unknowns, and that's okay. If you want to overcome resistance, ask yourself this question: what's one thing I can do today, even if I'm scared? Maybe it's reaching out to someone for advice, or maybe it's posting about your goal on LinkedIn, or maybe it's setting a deadline for your next step. The act of doing, no matter how small, is what matters most, because action breaks the cycle of doubt. And before you know it, you're not just thinking about your goal anymore. You're actually in motion. Now, here's something we don't talk enough about: celebrating the progress you've already made. When you're focused on a big goal, it's easy to feel like you're not moving fast enough. But progress, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. Ask yourself, did you learn something new today? Did you take a small step outside your comfort zone? Did you have a conversation that gave you clarity? Each of these is a win, and recognizing those wins doesn't just feel good, it reinforces the habit of action. Because every time you acknowledge your effort, you create a positive feedback loop. You're telling yourself, hey, I can actually do this. And you know what? That's powerful stuff. And one last thing: a moonshot is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you want to stay in the game, you have to build a rhythm that's sustainable. Create routines that support consistent effort without burning you out. Schedule time for reflection, rest, and recalibration. And find people who support your journey, because none of us do this alone. At the end of the day, your goal isn't just to reach your moonshot, it's to enjoy the process of getting there too. So, here's what I want you to take away from what we've talked about. Your career moonshot is more than just a destination. It's a journey of growth, transformation, and discovery. And the moment you take action, no matter how small it is, you've already succeeded in the most important way possible. You've chosen to bet on yourself. So, what's your next step? And when are you going to take it? Because if you've been waiting for a sign, I'm showing you that sign right now. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message, share your thoughts, or tag me on social media. And if you know someone who's been sitting on their own moonshot, send them this episode. If you're searching for work that works for you, I invite you to go to richardtaliaferro.com and schedule a complimentary call with me, and let's talk about it. Thanks for listening, and talk to you next week.